Hey guys, this is Josh from Desert Sky Games and Comics, here to open up a box of Conspiracy for you guys. Set releases Friday, August 26th, about 2 days from the date of this shooting. It's not a standard legal set, but it'll be legal in all Eternal formats. Is Modern in Eternal format? Not in Eternal format. Okay, well. So, Vintage, Legacy, Commander. As well as the Conspiracy drafts, which are supposed to be really fun, cool, multiplayer drafts. It was really fun when the first set of Conspiracy came out. Anyways, just jump right into this box opening. I already tore open a little bit of an edge here to make this a lot easier, but... So it's 36 booster packs in a... Oh, it's got a little sleeve to it. Oh, that's a lot nicer than the old one that they had. The old one was shaped similarly to this, but was an actual horrendous nightmare to store. So they're making this a lot easier now. So let's see. Evolving Wild, Explosive Vegetation, that's a good reprint. Infest, Juniper Order Ranger is pretty sweet. Kami of the Crescent Moon, and then a Monarch token, that one's pretty sweet actually. Kami of the Crescent Moon is the first rare. Kami seems sweet. I like drawing extra cards in draft. Letting my opponents also draw extra cards in draft is probably fine in a multiplayer format. Custody Soul Collar, Infest again, Carnage Gladiator, and Faith's Reward. A Construct token. Faith's Reward's sweet. The amount of kind of dumping of board states in multiplayer formats tends to happen a lot, so being able to at instant speed just bring everything that died that turn back seems really sweet. Skip right to the uncommons for you guys. Farika's Mender, Merfolk Looter, Irresistible Prey, and Burgeoning. That seems like a really important card. Burgeoning is sweet, seems really important in any kind of multiplayer format, Commander staple for any green deck that ever exists ever. So question, is it better to play Soul Ring on turn 1 or Burgeoning? Do you get more out of Burgeoning turn 1?
I think it kind of depends on how many lands you have in your hand. Soul Ring is good at any point in the game, Burgeoning is terrible in the late game.
So like if you have the option, like so you've got like Burgeoning, Soul Ring, 3 lands, and some 4 or 5 drops that you want to play early on in Commander.
You play Burgeoning first.
So you play Burgeoning first, play all your lands out, play Soul Ring, and then just play whatever else is in your hand. Okay. More into the uncounts, Pyretic Hunter, Into the Void, Irresistible Prey, Sanctum Prelate, and foil rare Covenant of Minds. Sanctum Prelate is one of the most spoken about cards in this set. I'll read this one for you guys. It's a 1 white for a 2/2 human cleric. As Sanctum Prelate enters the battlefield, choose a number. Non-creature spells with CMC equal to the chosen number can't be cast. Being talked about a lot for like Legacy Death and Taxes builds. Seems really sweet. Where's that card sitting right now, price-wise?
Currently, price is about $25. Probably go down as the set gets released.
I think it'll settle somewhere around like 10, 15, depending on Death and Taxes.
Yeah, it's not Chalice of the Void,
sure.
So it's going to end up somewhere probably
tokens.
lower than that. Chalice is playing a lot more decks than this card will end up, so...
That's fair. I like Twin Bolt a lot. That card's pretty sweet. So this is one of the cool things about Conspiracy is the cards that really actually like modify the draft. So it says Noble Banneret, draft it face up. As you draft a creature card, you may reveal it, note its name, then turn this guy face down. As long as you control 1 or more creatures with a name you noted for cards named Noble Banneret, and those creatures get +1/+1 and have a lifelink, and it's a 3/3 base. So the card actually seems pretty sweet. I like all the cards that interact with the draft. It makes it a little bit more interesting, but it's definitely something that you don't really see that often. Foil, not a foil Conspiracy, but a rare Conspiracy, first one in the box. So Hedron Matrix, quick creature gets +X/+X, where X is its CMC, is pretty sweet. And then Emissary's Ploy. So Conspiracies start in the command zone and have like special rules that will affect you in the general game. So before drawing your opening hand, you choose 1, 2, or 3, And you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast creature spells with CMC equal to the chosen number. That actually seems really, really sweet. I like the idea of the actual conspiracy cards in this, being able to modify like kind of the whole game state of it.
Yeah, with something like Emissary's Ploy, it lets you take maybe an early pick that didn't end up in your colors, but is still a powerful enough card, and lets you basically play it in the deck without having to worry too much about it.
That seems really nice. Just being able to cast like Sanctum Prelate in your blue-black deck, and it just being really good. So Dismiss, Guardian of the Gateless, Grenzo's Ruffians, Forgotten Ancient, and Hired Heist. Forgotten Ancient's pretty sweet. I like that guy a lot. Just gets bigger as he goes, and that seems really important in a multiplayer format, having the biggest guy. Murder's a sweet reprint again for the second set in a row. So Fang of the Pack is the first uncommon, Coiling Oracle, Shimmering Grotto, Spitting Slime is the rare, and a Canal Courier is the foil. It's 2 foils so far, one of them being a foil rare. And a 5/5 dragon token as well. I mean, I like the set so far, and the box so far isn't actually bad at all. I mean, foil rare probably could have been a little bit better, but Sanctum Prelate early on leaves a lot left that could just go really well. Another Custodes Soul Collar, Fleshbag Marauders, always sweet, Coiling Oracle, Dragon Lair Spider, and a foil Summoner's Bond Conspiracy. Dragon Lair Spider's sweet. This one was, its last only printing was Plains Chase 2012, I believe it's the only other printing. Card's really sweet. I like that a lot in Limited, actually. Being able to just jam tokens out in a multiplayer, 3 to 5 player format seems really important. Merfolk Sky Scout, Smirch, Marchessa's Decree, Followed Footsteps. That is probably one of my all-time favorite cards. Hitting that thing on, a Dragon Lair Spider. I mean, don't know why you'd be paying 3 colors, but in a Jinky format like this, I mean, also why not? Getting another Dragon Lair Spider every one of your turns, and then every time your opponent has a spell, getting more 1/1s seems really, really awesome. But I always liked it with things like Sower of Temptation and EDH, where every turn you're just going to take another creature and get a 2/2 flyer. And I'm opening this pack upside down and really awfully. So that's really good. Gate. Deadly Designs, Shipwreck Singer, Domesticated Hydra, Stunt Double. That card's actually super, super sweet, and I'm really excited to see where that goes. Being able to flash in a clone at any point seems really awesome. I like that a lot. Kaladesh. Alright. Rogue's Passage, off a Guard Hound, Animus of Predation, and Spirit of the Hearth, and then another rare Conspiracy, and a Soldier token. So Spirit of the Hearth, flying, you have Hexproof on a 4/5 for 6, seems really good in this format. Multiplayer games tend to last a lot longer than turn 6, so being able to get this guy out early and just having a 4/5 seems not awful, and the Cat Spirit is also kind of just really sweet. Weight Advantage. So, starts the game in the face-up in the command zone. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Kind of awesome. It's like making things like Spirit of the Hearth actually being like a 4/5, except it deals 5 damage instead of 4. Spin. Stone Shock Giant. Nessian Asp. Vertigo Spawn. And Avatar of Woe as the second Mythic of the box. 6 black for 6/5. If there are 10 or more creature cards total in all graveyards, Avatar of Woe costs 6 less to cast, making only black. It has fear, so it can't be blocked except by artifact creatures or black creatures. You can tap it to destroy target creature. That creature can't be regenerated.
It's unfortunate to see that as a Mythic. It's one of those cards that ended up as a Mythic because of the fact that this is a draft format. So you can't have that card at rare because that card is kind of stupid.
You mean you don't want to see it in 2 of your opponent's decks in the pot?
No. Turns out you don't even want to see 1 in your opponent's deck.
Grenzo, Havoc Razor, and another Monarch token. A lot of those floating around. So this is the follow-up to Grenzo out of the first conspiracy. Legendary creature Goblin Rogue, or double red for a 2/2. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you get to pick one of the modes. Goad target creature that player controls. This is the first appearance of Goad that we've seen so far in a rare. Exile the top card of that player's library until end of turn. You may cast that card, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. So Goad is a really cool mechanic. Tanner, can you explain how that one works so I don't totally butcher it?
So basically what happens when you goad a creature, you target a creature. It can be one of your opponent's control, it can be one you control. But until your next turn, in a multiplayer game, that means until your next turn. So once it comes back around to you, that's when that effect will stop. And it basically has to attack whenever possible. And the thing about that, though, is that it has to attack an opponent, not you. So it can't attack a planeswalker you control, it can't attack you. It can only attack your opponents.
It's a really sweet mechanic. And wasn't there one that was kind of similar to that a long time ago? There was a mechanic that forced creatures to attack. Not necessarily everybody but you.
I don't think they really had a name for it. I think that was just kind of a theme in one of the sets. But
Moving into the next, there's Jing Homunculus. When this guy ETBs, he goads a target creature. I think that's pretty sweet. It's also one of the coolest arts I've seen on a card in a long time.
And a bit of an homage to Fibblethip from Return to Ravnica.
You mean Mucklethud?
No,
no, this is Mucklethud.
Fibblethip
is the one from Ravnica. Homunculi are sweet. Skipping out to Halaveros, Serum Visions, Gang of Devils, Charmbreaker Devils, and a Noble Banneret. Goblin. Serum Visions reprint's actually pretty sweet. Card's gonna tank if it hasn't already. One of those notable reprints that seems really good. I can't see the card ever really going above $1 to $2 after this.
Yeah, the thing about Conspiracy is it's very different from a set like Eternal Masters, where Conspiracy is going to be available for a lot longer than Eternal Masters was. It's going to be something that you can pick up for a long time from now. It's kind of the point, to be able to do a multiplayer draft kind of just whenever.
I think it's really important to have a card like this just be in a reprint like that, like the same with like Show and Tell and everything else that's being reprinted, like Burgeoning. Price drops are going to be pretty crucial. So Foil, Ravenous.
Le Crota.
Thank you for that. Capital Punishment, Council's Dilemma. Starting with you, each player votes for death or taxes. Each opponent sacrifices a creature for each death vote and discards a card for each taxes vote for 4 black.
So, ironically, really not going to see that card in Death and Taxes in Legacy.
Well, that's really sad because I would actually love to play that deck if it actually ran that.
It's interesting how they changed the voting thing this time around. So a lot more of the cards with vote will have an effect depending on however many votes were put into it instead of just whatever end result the votes had.
I do like that though.
So instead of having something where it's
garbage, fire, card is sweet. Don't eat. No. This card is sweet. This card is awesome. Reveal it as you draft it, and then note how many cards you've drafted this draft round. That means like this pack, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so per this pack, Garbage Fire deals damage to target creature equal to the highest number you noted for cards named Garbage Fire. So first pack gets packed around, you only note 2, but like the third pack you pull like 4. Every Garbage Fire will then deal 4 damage. And if you happen to have 6 Garbage Fires dealing 4 damage, that's probably not a bad deck to run.
Oh, absolutely not.
All right. Bush Strider, Gruul War Chant, Shimmering Grotto, and Skyline Despo. Another big dragon that makes big dragons. Seems really good for a multiplayer format. Again, tokens are probably really good in this set. Farbog Bone Flinger. Ascended Law Mage, I really like that card. Spectral Grasp, Inquisition of Kozilek, another big notable reprint. Card was not too long ago around $20. I don't know what this drops it to, but probably I think this one's probably sitting somewhere around $6.
$6.43 is currently the market price.
Seems like a really, really important reprint. Really nice. Like I can only see that continually dropping. But the other 2 reprints of it are probably not going to go too far down. This one, though, I can see being super cheap. Pyretic Hunter, Storm Chaser Chimera, Spike Hit, 100-handed one, and a Mythic Conspiracy. So 100-handed one, Can block 99 additional creatures as long as it's monstrous, with monstrosity 3, 4, 6. And then Hymn of the Wilds, again, Conspiracy starts in your command zone. First creature you cast each turn costs 1 less, but you cannot cast instant or sorcery spells. I'm interested. I want to know actually how much an effect that actually carries and how much weight that actually holds.
I don't think it's actually good enough.
Really?
I think for it to be actually good enough, it would also have to add the text line of you can cast creatures using any color of mana. Or basically,
Sure.
you can, when casting creature spells, you can spend mana or mana of any color.
But doesn't the other Mythic Conspiracy kind of already fill that slot though? So they
does,
couldn't do
but
this?
you're not going to get both in a draft. So
I guess.
with Hymn of the Wild getting 24 creatures
But so
into
having
your deck is actually kind of difficult without having to dip into a lot of colors.
Does adding 2 Mythic Conspiracies that do kind of the same thing really just encourage jam whatever cool things into your deck?
I mean, that's kind of what a Mythic Conspiracy should do, though, because you're not going to see them a lot.
I guess. Freakish Mender, Havengul Vampire, Illusion of Choice, Arcane Servant, another foil rare. Sorry, Arcane Savant. 2 foil rares for the box. That's pretty sweet. So Arcane Savant, before you shuffle your deck to start the game, you may reveal this card from your deck and exile an instant or sorcery card you drafted that isn't in your deck. When Arcane Savant enters the battlefield, copy a card you exiled with cards named Arcane Savant. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. So that's really cool. Like, you're in a blue-red deck, but you also drafted Murder. So, like, Arcane Savant enters the battlefield and you kill something, and you get a 3/3 for 5. That seems really important, actually. That's really sweet. And then a foil Gratuitous Violence. If a creature you control would deal damage to a creature or player, it deals double that damage to that creature or player instead. So this card plus double strike is quadruple strike, correct?
Technically speaking.
Isn't it technically not speaking because it doesn't hit 4 times? It's just dealing 4 times its regular damage that's actually printed on it?
Sure.
You're the judge.
As a judge, it is my job to make it clear and concise as to what actually happens, not try to confuse you with mumbo-jumbo.
Stoneshock Giant, Hollow Edge Spirit, Gutter Snipe, Kaya Ghost Assassin, and another Emissary's Ploy. So Kaya is actually super, super, super interesting, and I really want her to be good. She's a 4-drop Planeswalker that comes in with 5 loyalty with no plus abilities. For a 0, you can exile her or up to 1 target creature, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of your next upkeep, and you lose 2 life. So essentially, you can get her all the way down to 1, and then use her 0 ability the next turn, and she'll come back with 5. Or you can -1, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life, and then you can -2, and each opponent discards a card, and you draw a card. So she's really sweet in draft. I think she's almost a game winner when she hits the table, like really just starting a clock on your opponents and stuff like that. Outside of this format, I don't know if she's actually going to do anything besides maybe that sweet white-black card draw that needed to be a thing in EDH, but I don't really see anything past that for her. Public Execution, Spy Kit, Noble Banneret, Phyrexian Arena, and a Foil Infest. Phyrexian Arena is probably really good in draft. I mean, drawing extra cards and not letting your opponents draw extra cards seems really, really good. Getting farther ahead than your opponents is probably important.
Oh, just a quick warning. In Conspiracy Draft, you start out with only 20 life. So if you don't win the game quickly, you might end up dying to that thing.
Another Serum Visions. Keepsake Gorgon, Knight of the Black Rose, Burning Wish, and a foil Razorgame. That's pretty cool. Burning Wish is a really sweet reprint, printed in Judgment originally. Something along those lines. Some old set. Choose a sorcery card you own from outside the game, reveal that card, put it into your hand, exile Burning Wish. So, for those players out there that think that they're just going to be able to jump into their card binders during the draft and grab their Emrakul and put it in their hand, that's incorrect.
Yeah, no. For limited, wishes can only grab something out of your draft pool.
That you didn't put into your deck.
Mm-hmm.
Fang of the Pack, Marchessa's Decree, Carnage Gladiator, and another Forgotten Ancient. But on that topic of nothing that we were actually talking about, the Monarch mechanic is actually kind of sweet.
Yeah, just being able to have this kind of thing to have people draw extra cards.
I'm noting my second Garbage Fire.
Your Garbage Fires now deal 2 damage. Yes. The Monarch mechanic is very interesting because it lets you...
There's that Recruiter again. I'm going to keep interrupting you and trying to explain this mechanic to everybody.
So the Monarch mechanic is nice because it keeps the cards flowing for a lot of people. So say you're playing a red-green deck. Red-green is notoriously bad at getting extra cards, and so it kind of exchanges that because the Monarch is going to draw you extra cards if you are the Monarch, and you become the Monarch by dealing combat damage to other players.
So do we know where the Monarchs are double-sided with the same exact thing?
No, it's just a token.
So Recruiter of the Guard, along the same lines as Sanctum Prelate, is a 2 and a white for a 1/1, but when it enters the battlefield, search your library for a creature card with toughness 2 or less, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. Seems super important for Death and Taxes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, seems like it's just immediately fitting into all decks as a Friday.
Yeah, no, it's going to end up in a lot of Legacy decks. You'll end up seeing it a lot. It goes great in Maverick, it goes and fetches up your Knight of the Reliquary, or your Deathrite Shaman. Death and Taxes, it goes and gets any of your cards like Thalia, Flicker Wisp, those kinds of things. The fact that it actually does hit on toughness is quite important too. It makes it a bit different from Imperial Recruiter, because Imperial Recruiter hits on power. So it's not going to go grab Painter's Servant, but it is going to go grab cards like Flicker Wisp and something like Kitchen Finks.
So it just opens up an entire array of things that you couldn't before. Okay.
And in a color like white, where it's a lot more important.
Where your toughness is generally lower than your power.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, for a lot more of your more utility cards.
Fair point, fair. Regal Behemoth, 4 green, trample. Speaking of the Monarch mechanic, when it enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. And whenever you tap a land for mana while you are the Monarch, you can add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool in addition to the mana that land produces already. This card is really sweet. Auto become the Monarch. Hold on to it. I mean, it's a 5/5. Like, you're probably either going to dig out one of their kill spells, but like, you're going to see the Monarch draw an extra card probably next turn.
Monarch draws you a card at the end step, so when
so you're immediately drawing
pretty
that
much
card.
going to be drawing the card.
Okay, that's super sweet then. Okay, so it's a 6/6 that when it enters the battlefield, you...
During the beginning of the end step, you're going to draw a card.
Oh, that's really sweet. That's really sweet, actually. Okay, better than I thought. Ascended Lawmage, Palace Jailer, Sulphurous Blast, Protector of the Crown, and a Hold the Perimeter. Conspiracy. Protector of the Crown, 5 and a white. Enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. All damage that would be dealt to you is dealt to Protector of the Crown instead. And that's really important because Monarch is whenever whenever combat damage gets dealt to you, they become the Monarch. Okay.
So Protector of the Crown is going to prevent all damage that would be dealt to you.
And deal it to itself instead. Okay.
So they cannot steal the Monarch from you.
So hold the perimeter. At the beginning of your first upkeep, put a 1/2 white soldier creature token with Defender on the battlefield. At the beginning of each other player's first upkeep, that player puts a 1/1 red goblin creature token onto the battlefield with this creature can't block.
So it's a fun little card in that at the beginning of the game, you're basically going to get a 1/2, and everybody else is going to get a 1/1. And since your 1/2 is obviously much better than their 1/1s, they're going to start attacking each other and leave you alone.
Oh, that's actually really awesome. I love politics.
Of course, the other thing on that
Third
is...
Garbage Fire.
Okay.
Deals 3 damage.
So the other thing on that, though, might be that they might suddenly realize, oh, we need to kill this person. So it's
It'll take them a few turns. Like, they'll attack each other for the first few turns because it does nothing for them. Okay. Spire Phantasm, Palace Jailer, Gutter Snipe, and a Hamlet back Goliath. I only ever like seeing that card in draft. Other than that, I don't like the art. There's not much about that card that I actually do enjoy.
It's a very powerful card, though.
Sure, but like, it's not pretty. I don't find it that pretty. I wanna fall in love with my cards for their looks. I don't care about what they're on the inside. Dismiss. Domesticated Hydra, Fleshbag Marauder, and Desertion. 3 blue, counter target spell. If an artifact or creature spell is countered this way, put that card onto the battlefield under your control instead of into its owner's graveyard. So you want to talk about a card that I love for how pretty it is and its personality. That's Desertion. This card is sweet. So my opponent's going to cast Regal Behemoth, and I'm going to say, no, that's mine. I'm the Monarch. And then it'll be my turn. It's going to be great.
And why'd you have to bring up dessert? I'm hungry now.
It's only like 1 a.m. Let's go get food. Actually, can you go get me food? That actually sounds really great. Burn Away, Mana Plasm, Diabolic Tutor seems really good. Exotic Orchard also seems really good. Exotic Orchard in draft, multiplayer draft, actually seems like it's just going to be like tap for any color, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. You'll find that it usually taps for at least 3 colors.
Seems important.
Mm-hmm. Especially because it comes in play untapped, so.
Seems real good.
Yeah, just don't make the accident of playing it turn 1 and trying to cast your burgeoning off it.
Ugh. Custody Soulcaller, Grenzo's Ruffians, Deceiver Exarch, Subterranean Tremors for I think our 4th Mythic. X in a red deals X damage to each creature without flying. If X is 4 or more, destroy all artifacts. If X is 8 or more, put an 8/8 red lizard creature token onto the battlefield. Okay, that flavored text is actually really sweet. It just says the market is now closed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this might win my actual favorite card in this set. Like, for everything that this card actually does, this is really sweet. Like, it's good early game and it's awesome late game.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
this card is actually really sweet.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a bit more aimed at Commander players, I think.
Oh, sure,
because
sure,
of the
absolutely.
Shadow Storm effect. You're not going to find a lot of random artifacts in the draft format for this.
I mean, I don't think you care, though. Like, you're going to wipe the board and then late game in this format because it actually is going to go so long. Like, you're just going to get this 8/8 lizard and close the market and just feel really great.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue's Passage, Coordinated Assault, another Deceiver Exarch. Sphinx of Magosi. That's not a bad card. I mean, you're spending 6 mana to maybe get a bigger dude and draw some cards. It's probably not awful. I don't know if I'd first pick it ever.
It means 6 mana, 6/6 flyer. That's first pickable pretty much no matter what you end up with. And the fact that it has the potential to draw you extra cards if you untap with it.
Alright, you raise a fair argument. I concede. Shipwreck Singer. Dread Statuary. Ghostly Prison. That's really sweet. Pariah and a Foil Omen Speaker. Oh, hold the perimeter again. Ghostly Prison's a sweet reprint. It's also sitting at like $5, I think, right now. But it's really sweet in any kind of draft format, multiplayer format. I don't know. I like it a lot. I also like the similarities in the arts of these two cards. It's actually really sweet.
Yeah, Pariah is also an interesting one because it functions a bit like the previous card we saw, the Protector of the Crown, in that you can enchant a creature and any damage you're able to use dealt to that creature instead. So it makes it a lot easier
Seems
to also
important.
keep Monarchy.
Yeah, seems important. There's a lot of these. They've built a lot of cool synergy into this set. Like, this set is, I think, actually really well designed. Merfolk Sky Scout, Storm Chaser Chimera, another Ghostly Prison, and a Syngromancer. I haven't actually seen this card. 2 black flying Vampire Shaman is a 3/3. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, not whenever an opponent dies. Okay, that's important. You may gain 3 life. Whenever opponent discards a card, you may gain 3 life. Okay, so this card with that Council's Dilemma, the Death and Taxes one, actually seems amazing.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Like, that's just game winning if you get both of those cards, correct? Okay.
Because you're going to basically make them lose a bunch of stuff, and then you're going to be getting a bunch of life on that as well.
Alright, coming down to the last 3 packs. So far, I don't know. How has this box been so far?
It has been alright.
Are we thinking iffy? Or...
the thing on Mythic Conspiracies is that they're not valuable unless they're foil, because people generally only want them to put in cubes once they're out of the booster pack.
Fair.
And so the only other 3 things we've really gotten have been the Sanctum Prelate and the Kaya.
Well, Sanctum Prelate, Kaya, and then the Recruiter.
Yeah, the Recruiters are rare, though. It's not a Mythic.
That's fair. Nessian Asp, Illusion of Choice, Beast Within is also a really notable reprint. Dustmantle Seer is actually really sweet. I like that in this set a lot. It's a flying, beginning your upkeep. Each player reveals the top card of his or her library and loses life equal to that card's CMC, then puts it in his or her hand. I mean, like, double-edged sword maybe, but I think it's really good.
Yeah, in a multiplayer format like this, it becomes a lot less of a double-edged sword because since everyone is getting an extra card out of it, they are a bit less likely to kill it, and they're also a bit less likely to focus on you to kill it.
That's fair. Deadly Designs, Smuggler Captain, Carnage Gladiator, and Adriana, Captain of the Guard. The 1/1 Assassin token. Death, Touch, and Haste. That's actually really sweet. So Melee is also a new mechanic. Whenever this creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each opponent you attacked with a creature this combat. Can you explain that a little bit more?
So basically what that means is, say you're playing in a standard conspiracy draft, you're going to end up in a pod of 4 people for the game, so you're going to have 3 opponents. So if you have Adriana, and say there's a 1/1 flyer in the set that also has melee, so if you have Adriana and that 1/1 attack the same player, neither of them are actually going to get any benefit besides just the regular +1, because you are going to get +1/+1 for each opponent you attack this turn.
So they get +1/+1, but if the other creature has melee, other creatures you control have melee, and if a creature has multiple instances of melee, each triggers separately.
Yeah, let's not get that far just yet.
I don't know, we're going to get really far into this. So that guy actually becomes a 3/3.
So let's back up a little
Ooh.
bit. And so if you have instead the 1/1 attack a separate player from Adriana, now both creatures are going to get +2/+2 because you're attacking 2 players.
And that's +2/+2 for each instance of melee.
Yes. And so with
your
Adriana,
1/1,
she is going to be giving melee to all your creatures. And so if you have the 1/1 flyer that already has melee on it, and then give it an additional instance of melee, and
that's going to be a 5/5 with flying, and she becomes an 8/8.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Well, no, she only...
Well, she still gets +2/+2.
Yeah, so she'll be a 6/6.
Oh, you're correct, because she doesn't have 2 instances of melee.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, last pack. So far, not awful. We've seen all the rules, new mechanics, got a Planeswalker, got cards worth some money, notable reprints we're all seeing, I think. Not bad at all. Off the Guardhound, Overrun, Smuggler Captain, and Throne of the High City. Land, tap to add 1 colorless, and you can pay 4 generic, tap it, sack it, and you become the monarch. So do we think this card is actually good?
Absolutely not.
Oh, but why not?
Because it's in a format like this where they have built a lot of ways to become the monarch, and they're just creatures that make you the monarch. Having to sacrifice a land and 4 mana to become the monarch seems a bit not great. It's inefficient. There are creatures that do it much better, and if you really need to, you can just attack the monarch unless they have something particularly nasty in the way. But having to sacrifice a land, put yourself down a mana to do that seems not wonderful.
I guess so. I mean, like, but if like you're late into the game and you know you don't have anything else that's going to make you the monarch, is monarch so important ever that you need to get rid of land? Is that extra card?
The extra card is nice, but I don't think...
Do you want to pay 4 and sack a land for 1 card?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fact that when you're the monarch, you're a target. So if you're already behind enough so that you need to sacrifice a land and 4 mana to become the monarch, you then become the target, you're probably not going to be the monarch for long.
So you're down a mana, you are the target. Alright, so none of that's actually great. So the cards, it's I would rather play a island in a red-green deck.
I mean, maybe not that far, but...
So this is actually really cool. This actually like has a thing on the inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got like... Oh! So this explains everything that we just talked about.
Yeah. I mean,
so how to become the monarch.
Yeah, but that's like a large wall of text.
Draft.
So nobody
well,
wants
sure,
to
yeah, but it's got Kaya coming out of a wall.
Yeah, no, that is pretty cool.
That's kind of sweet. I like that. All right. Well, 5 mythics, one of them being a conspiracy. Quite a few foils, 2 foil rares, a couple of the rare conspiracies, 2 doubles on those rare conspiracies, actually. I don't know why that got there. but not bad. I mean, Sanctum Prelate, Kaya seemed to be pretty notable getting out of there. Avatar of Woe is a little sad, and Subterranean Tremors, I have no idea if it's worth anything, but I just like the card a lot because it's a giant lizard coming out of the middle of a market, and the Flavor Text is great.
Subterranean Tremors is not worth all that much, but it is definitely a powerful card and definitely worth spending a pick on.
Well, I mean, I will definitely be buying my foil playset of it because it's a lizard coming out of the ground and it looks great. So you can get out of my face. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video with us. All these singles are going to be available online and in-store at Desert Sky Games and Comics. Go ahead, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Thanks for watching.